Okay, this is the second part of Monopolistic Competition, Chapter 16, and a lot of verbiage here. This is a relatively easy chapter, so the two big things in monopolistic competition, aside from product differentiation, are excess capacity and markup. Let's go through what these two terms mean. Excess capacity. In perfect competition, there is no excess capacity. Free entry results in competitive firms producing at the point where average total cost is minimized, which is the efficient scale of the firm. So they are producing as many goods as they possibly can, no room for producing any more. However, there is excess capacity in monopolistic competition. Output is less than the efficient scale, and this is due to advertising. It must advertise to get the word out, and as a result, it's that money that is spending for advertising, it could have spent producing more of the product. Although looking at a grocery store, you would not imagine that the monopolistic competitive firm could produce that much more. Our grocery stores here in the United States are just filled to bursting with all kinds of monopolistically competitive goods. Okay, markup over marginal cost. Second big thing. For a competitive firm, price equals marginal cost, which you remember, the price equals the extra cost to produce the item. But in a monopolistically competitive firm, price exceeds marginal cost. So the firm can charge a price greater than the cost to produce it, and that is due to product differentiation. A little bit more about markup. Because price exceeds marginal cost, an extra unit sold at the posted price means more profit for the monopolistically competitive firm. And again, their advertising and their differentiation. And we'll have a few slides about advertising coming up. When firms sell differentiated product and charge prices above marginal cost, the firm has an incentive to advertise in order to attract more buyers. So the commercials that you see are for monopolistically competitive products. Firms that sell highly differentiated consumer goods spend between 10 and 20% of their revenue on advertising. 2% of the total revenue, or $100 billion a year, is on advertising. And maybe you can think of some catchy advertising slogans or commercials. And again, these are things that firms who make these products, let's say Procter & Gamble, who makes all kinds of household wares, or General Mills, who makes all kinds of cereal goods, each make lots of highly differentiated goods. Now, critics of advertising argue that firms advertise in order to manipulate people's tastes. They also argue that it impedes competition by implying that products are more different than they truly are. However, defenders argue that advertising provides information to consumers. They also argue that advertising increases competition by offering a greater variety of products and prices. The willingness of a firm to spend advertising dollars can be a signal to consumers about the quality of the good being offered or not. It's really up to you, consumer, what the role of advertising is. Is advertising going to compel you to buy that product? Now, one more thing regarding advertising, brand names. Critics argue that brand names cause consumers to perceive differences that do not really exist. Economists have argued that brand names may be a useful way for consumers to ensure that the goods they are buying are of high quality. it in essence provides information about the quality in question, gives firms an incentive to maintain high quality. Now the next, I believe, 5 slides here are going to be on the graphical portion of monopolistic competition, just showing in graphs what I've been talking about with excess capacity and markup. Okay, here is the situation for the monopolistically competitive firm. Very similar to monopoly. Profit is the price above average total cost. Monopolistically competitive firm produces at where, right here, MR equals MC. The difference is going to come in the next slide. Now let's show the next slide. There we go. And like competition, the firm making profits is going to send a signal to other firms to produce more of the product. That's going to bring demand down for the initial firm, bringing price down to ATC, price down to the competitive level. But it's going to also result in a slight difference that we'll see in the next 2 slides. And here's the difference. There's excess capacity by the difference between the quantity produced and the efficient scale, as you can see there, and you can see the comparison of quantity produced equals efficient scale for competition. And we've got, let's see here, there we go, we've got excess markup there, price is greater than marginal cost. So these are the 2 big outcomes graphically for a monopolistically competitive firm, and it all goes from that demand curve downward sloping owing to differentiation. Okay, so this is just a review. Excess capacity and markup. Markup is on the price, excess capacity is on the quantity. And I do believe this ends chapter 16 of